Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to today's morning Nectar Reading. Today we have a very special reading because it is connected to the Nitya Lila of the Lord. We hear that there are Naimitika Lilas of the Lord, like occasional pastimes, and there are eternal Nitya Lila pastimes that are happening all the time. Like, for example, recently in the reading we had, for example, Pralambasura. Hare Krishna, Jennifer, welcome. Hare Krishna, Divya Kishori, Aman. So we had, for example,
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Pralambasura. That's an Naimittika Lila that's happening from time to times. We had Vrishabhanu Maharaj making a festival and inviting Nanda Maharaj and Krishna. Those are occasional pastimes. But today what we hear is a pastime that is happening every day. Every day, day after day after day after day, Krishna is coming back to Vrindavan and he's going to milk the cows. And this is, those pastimes are very, very special that we should approach with great respect and humility and gratitude that we can connect. They are very, very relishable. They are ever fresh, all the time fresh. And yeah, this coming back home of Krishna is very special. It is even mentioned. Who is mentioning that when we go, maybe Sanatan, it could be from Sanatan Goswami in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, that when the living entity goes back home, back to Godhead, he's arriving at this time when Krishna is coming back from the pasturing ground. And of course, the story of Gopkumar, that's what is happening when he's coming, meeting Krishna in the spiritual world. So we will start. I just have one small comment. I did a little extra work on this reading session because I did include quite something from another book of Kavi Karnapur, which is called Krishnanika Komudi, which speaks about the Astakalya Lila of Krishna. So today we have Ananda Vrindavana Campu for sure as the main, it's the main book, but you will see part are in blue in our reading, and the blue part in our reading are actually from Krishnanika Komudi. So we stay with Kavikarnapur, but we will have an amazing mixture of this pastime. Good, so I think we are ready to start. I will share the screen. And we will do like we usually do. We will first start to go to Sri Vrindavan and gather blessings. And this is a place that is not, you cannot see this place anymore because it has been restored in a different way. But this is a place in Nandagram, which is called where Krishna goes, Kadamba, Tirkadamba, where actually Rupa Goswami was spending quite some time writing also there. And because this is the time when Krishna goes back to Nandagram, and this place is in Nandagram, and we hear actually when we are there in Tirkadamba that Krishna is by when he's coming back from his pasturing ground. We will offer our obeisance on this small tract of land which is between two kunds. And so please watch very carefully the picture, this narrow path where Krishna and Balaram and the cows might have passed. And now enter into this picture and feel that you are now in Sri Vrindavan Dham. Close your eyes and offer obeisances in the dust of Sri Vrindavan Dham. Feel the blissful touch of Rajaduli, dust of Vrindavan, on your forehead and your body. And remember that at that very place, Krishna will walk with the cows. You might hear some peacocks in the background and smell the very powerful fragrance of Kadamba flowers that are in bloom right now. Remember your spiritual master and offer him your most humble obeisances and request him for the blessings today to enter into the presence of the Lord. We start with the first meditation of Krishna coming back and beginning with his cows. You see on the picture there is dust floating all around and falling on Krishna's hair, on Krishna's body. The Vaijayanti Mala that is dancing and his Kostuba jewel. Please watch very carefully also his beautiful hair. And we read the first meditation. Vidya Kishori, if you would like to read.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
The pure, colorful dust of Raj, kicked up by the cow's hooves and sprinkled on Krishna's curly locks by the gentle breeze, looks like pollen on the bodies of bees. The Vaijayanti garland on Krishna's chest seems to smile with the beauty of its flowers and spreads its attractive pollen in all directions. Krishna's famous pure Kaustubha jewel shines even more brilliantly. The pure, colorful dust of Raj, kicked up by the cow's hooves and sprinkled on Krishna's curly locks by the gentle breeze, looks like the pollen on the bodies of the bees. The Vaijayanti garland on Krishna's chest seems to smile with the beauty of its flowers and spread its attractive pollen in all directions. Though covered by dust, Krishna's famous pure Kaustuba jewel shines even more brilliantly.
Please close your eyes and try to remember the first picture you saw as we hear the last time reading.
The pure, colorful dust of Raj, kicked up by the cow's hooves and sprinkled on Krishna's curly locks by the gentle breeze, looks like pollen on the bodies of the bees. The Vaijayanti garland on Krishna's chest seemed to smile with the beauty of its flowers and spread its attractive pollen in all directions. Though covered by dust, Krishna's famous pure Kaustuba jewel shines even more brilliantly.
Wonderful. Now we have the next meditation is when Krishna came back home, and after he's coming back home, he's getting massaged and getting a bath and redressed with new ornaments and new clothes by his servants. And that's just after Krishna had been fully redressed. And we will, so we need to observe very carefully the picture, this beautiful turban, how the earrings and kostuba jewel and necklaces are shining. This yellow dhoti and yellow chadar. So take a screenshot of this picture in your mind, and we will hear the meditation. Jennifer, would you like to read?
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
A brilliant necklace glows on Krishna's chest. A yellow silk dhoti, as beautiful as stationary lightning, enwraps his exquisite form. The sandalwood pulp on his body appears like snow sprinkled on the land of Vrindavan. Ridiculing the radiance of the sun, the Kaustuba gem reigns over the kingdom of Krishna's broad chest. His earrings outshine the brilliance of Venus and Jupiter. The turban resting on his head looks like an intoxicated swan. A brilliant necklace glows on Krishna's chest. A yellow silk dhoti, as beautiful as stationary lightning, enwraps his exquisite form. The sandalwood pulp on his body appears like snow sprinkled on the land of Vrindavan. Ridiculing the radiance of the sun, the Kaustuba gem reigns over the kingdom of Krishna's broad chest. His earrings outshine the brilliance of Venus and Jupiter. The turban resting on his head looks like an intoxicated swan.
Please close your eyes and visualize the picture that we have seen as we hear the third time reading.
A brilliant necklace glows on Krishna's chest. A yellow silk dhoti, as beautiful as stationary lightning, enwraps his exquisite form. The sandalwood pulp on his body appears like snow sprinkled on the land of Vrindavan. Ridiculing the radiance of the sun, the Kaustuba gem reigns over the kingdom of Krishna's broad chest. His earrings outshine the brilliance of Venus and Jupiter. The turban resting on his head looks like an intoxicated swan.
Thank you. So we will have the last meditation, and this is when Krishna is milking the cows. Here we have another beautiful picture that we can observe, and that will be our visualization for next picture, next meditation. Aman, Prabhu, would you like to read the next?
Squatting down and holding the golden milk pail between his knees, Krishna looks very enchanting in his glimmering yellow dhoti. First, Krishna moistens his thumb and forefinger with milk curd, and then he deftly pulls shower of milk from one udder after another. The touch of Krishna's lotus hand feels dearer to the cow than their own cows. Out of affection for the Lord, the cows freely pour forth streams of milk. Squatting down and holding the golden milk pail between his knees, Krishna looks very enchanting in his glimmering yellow dhoti. First, Krishna moistens his thumb and forefinger with milk foam, and then he deftly pulls shower of milk from one udder after another. The touch of Krishna's lotus hand feels dearer to the cows than their own calves. Out of affection for the Lord, the cow freely pours forth streams of milk.
Please close your eyes and try to visualize the picture we saw as we hear the last reading.
Squatting down and holding the golden milk pail between his knees, Krishna looks very enchanting in his glimmering yellow dhoti. Krishna looks very enchanting in his yellow dhoti. First, Krishna moistens his thumb and forefinger with milk foam, and then he deftly pulls shower of milk from one udder after another. The touch of Krishna's lotus hand feels dearer to the cows than their own calves. Out of affection for the Lord, the cow freely pour forth stream of milk.
Keep the image in your mind's eyes and remember what you have heard. So we can start with the reading. Very, very beautiful. Imagine you are a cow, your milk like Krishna. How it must feel, how blissful the cows must be to have Krishna's hand touching their udder and milking them. I was also reflecting on the previous meditation where Krishna's turban looked like an intoxicated swan, and most probably an intoxicated swan must be moving around. So that means most probably the turban of Krishna was also not fully stable and moving around. It's very nice when we do those meditation, we get some deeper vision of how it can be in these pastimes of the Lord. Okay, so we are going to start now, and maybe we can start with Tanu, if you can start the reading.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Krishna returns to Nandgram and milks the cows, indicating his desire to disappear behind the mountains. The sun gradually diminishes his painful scorching rays. The scent of honey from the lotus flowers blossoming in the lakes refresh the air with a sweet fragrance. Smelling it, the bees go mad with desire to taste it. The atmosphere feels pleasant and the ground is soothing to touch. Headed by Balarama, the young cowherds, who are saturated with sincere and friendly affection for one another, sound their flutes, horns, and panpipes while slowly walking to Vraja. They call the cows he, Savli, Pisangi, Kali, Neela, Harini, Vilohini, Dhumala, Sushila. Come here, we are going home now. so don't wander off in the forest. Bellowing happily as they move, the cows fix their eyes in the direction of Nandagrama. They move slowly due to their heavy udders, which are fatter and firmer than the forehead of an elephant. Mother Earth feels great bliss from the touch of their hooves, even though they are forcibly striking her surface. The cows making their way back to Vraja have filled their bellies with lots of green grass. Their bodies are robust and healthy, and their udders resemble full water pots. As they pass through the various villages along the way, Krishna casts sidelong glances toward the gopis, who stand on their rooftops to greet him as he walks by. The Vrajvasis take immense pleasure in seeing their beloved Krishna and Balram after the long summer's day. Krishna's beautiful dark blue curly locks peeing out from the edge of his limestone white turban enchant the eyes of everyone. The dust rising from the hooves of the cows create an auspicious atmosphere. Purified by the touch of Krishna's transcendental body, the gentle breezes add a comfortable sensation and satisfied all the Vrajvasis as they watch the returning boys and cows. Drinking the sweet vibration of Krishna's flute with the cups of their ears, the deer hurry to the edge of the forest to see him. The birds that felt empty in his separation and the trees had that had become lean and thin again rejoice upon hearing Krishna's reassuring flute. Krishna enters a joyful mood as he approaches the border of Vrindavan. Rows of excited bumblebees form a garland of blue sapphires to adorn the neck of Vrindavan. The bees go blind from smelling the sweet fragrance of lotus eyed Krishna, and although a strong wind crush their pride in flying, they try their best to follow him. In the fever of the upcoming separation from Krishna, the birds beat their bodies with the ends of their wings and chirp loudly to express their pain, as if weeping. Thus, their body afflicted in separation from their beloved stare in the direction of Krishna as if they have no eyelids. Stunned, they stand in one place, praying for the treasure of another glance from Krishna.
Thank you. Nikunja Biharini, would you like to continue?
Yes, thank you. The gopis thought continuously of Krishna within their hearts while separated from him during the day. Although Lord Shiva held poison in his throat, the gopis could not contain the intense hankering of their hearts to see Krishna. Forcefully surging from their hearts, this fervor chokes their voices and makes them lose external awareness. As the day gradually meets the evening, the gopis, forever bound to Krishna by unbreakable ties of love, become agitated with the desire to see him. Seeing Krishna in the distance with his ever fresh, youthful body glistening like a dark blue cloud, the gopis immediately blossom in ecstatic love. The sight of Krishna and Balarama herding the Surabki cows defeats the splendor of two captains, one black and one silver, steering a gleaming white ship, the cows. The pure, colorful dust of Raja kicked up the cows' hoofs and sprinkled on Krishna's curly locks by gentle breeze looks like pollen on the bodies of the bees. Krishna's beautiful black hair hangs down beneath his white turban, which is decorated with leaves and flowers and dust from the cow's hooves. The Vajayanti garland on Krishna's chest, now glorified with the foot dust of the cows, seems to smile with the beauty of its flowers and spread its attractive pollen in all directions. Though covered by dust, Krishna's famous, pure Kaustubha jewel shines even more brilliantly. Enthusiastic to return home, Haladhara runs down the long road into Vrindavana. Krishna, the radiant prince of Vrindavana, who is the abundant treasure house of beauty endowed with unlimited varieties of good fortune, however wanders behind while returning from the pasturing ground. He deliberately walks slowly like an intoxicated baby elephant to create some distance between him and his brother Balarama. Krishna is suddenly maddened with bliss as a result of his deep-rooted affection for the Vraja gopis. Now, without any shame or fear of his elder brother, Krishna unhesitatingly fixes his eyes on the Chandrashalikas, Chandrasalikas, small rooftop rooms for panoramic viewing. At that moment, the gopis appear to be drinking the sweet nectar of Krishna's gorgeous form in the cups of their eyes, touching him with their hands and licking him with their tongues. Krishna transforms into the black kajala around their eyes and the blue lotuses over their ears, the sapphire necklaces on their chests, and the musk ointment smeared on their bodies. Stunned in love, the gopis just stand motionless like figures drawn on a page.
Lovely. Standing in the Chandrashalikas, the gopis fill the sky with the countless full moons of their faces glowing with love. The blue lotuses of their eyes cover the broad lakes of their chests. Colorful rainbows from their dazzling jewelry illuminate the sky. And the black bees of their dark eyebrows restlessly circle the flowering creepers of their smile. The rivers of their liquid beauty flow down to touch the ground below. Viewing the situation, Krishna's dear friend Kusumasabha says jokingly, "Oh dear friend, for so many days we have not seen anything so astonishing. When you disappear in the forest, like the sun sinking into the water, the gopis on the Chandrashalika look like lotuses sustaining their life in the waters of love. When you reappear as the moon throwing its rays on earth, they blossom in delight like night blossom lotuses. There is nothing more amazing anywhere on the earth. In Brahma's entire creation, you will not find a more astounding or attractive scene." After saying this, Madhumangala cleverly points out the beloved daughter of Rishabhanu. Though glances at all the gopis, Krishna especially notices the attractive lotus face of Radhika, which pleases the eyes, exceeds all description, and is beautified with ecstatic love. The nectar of love for each other constantly flows in Krishna's heart and in the hearts of the gopis. Fixed on Krishna's lotus face, the glances of the lotus-eyed gopis look like a shower of blue lotus petals peeling one upon the other. The astonishing sweetness arising from the happiness of Shama's face being struck by the gopis' glances is only perceived by the gopis and Cupid. Though the gopis' bee-like glances resemble irresistible subtle arrows, the arrow of Krishna's counter glances breaks their arrows in mid-air. But still, the tips of the gopis' arrows manage to pierce Krishna's chest. This exchange of love-laden glances increases the sweetness of their mutual attraction. Fearing their elders, however, the gopis only glance briefly at Krishna, but their ecstatic love does not diminish in a least. With great anticipation, the Vrajavasis awaited the return of Krishna and the cows. First, they see the dust clouds in the distance created by the hoofs of the cows cutting the herd. And then they hear the bellowing of the cows and see the gopas coming close behind. And finally they beheld the bright blue effulgence preceding the jewel-like prince of Vrindavan.
Thank you. So we can start again with Jennifer, if you would like to read.
Overwhelmed with the desire to lick their calves, the cows try to run, but the heavy weight of their full milk bags checks their forward movement. Becoming jubilant upon hearing Krishna's flute, their eyes roll in ecstasy. Though their voices falter when they move, they produce a pleasing sound as they enter Vrindavan. The touch of Vanamali's cows purifies the earth. Young children and their elders happily greet Krishna as he blissfully enters Braj. Krishna reciprocates by looking lovingly upon each child, offering respect to every elder, and showing regard to each of the nursemaids who have more affection for him than their own children. Krishna's gentle, sweet smile attracts everyone in the village of Braj. Her heart brimming with motherly love, Yashoda stands in the courtyard, eagerly staring down the road leading to Krishna. The rays of the sunshine in the house of Nanda and Yashoda as they welcome their beloved son. Moved by limitless joy, Yashoda rushes to embrace Nanda Nandana. Finally seeing him after the long day of his playing in the forest overwhelms Yashoda with happiness and removes the pangs of separation. Rejecting all rules of formality, she takes Krishna through the lion gate and directly into the palace courtyard. Krishna's lips bathe in the beautiful light of his radiant tea. The cowherd boys accompanying Krishna feel happy and pleased in heart. With great animation, they speak excitedly to Rajeshwari Yashoda. "Oh, mother, today a demon disguised himself as one of us and tried to kidnap Haladad. But your son Balaram easily killed this malicious character. Then a terrible forest fire threatened to devour the cows, the very source of our wealth. But Krishna promised to save them by performing the impossible task of destroying that fire." After reporting this, the boys return to their respective homes. Due to Yashoda's deep motherly affection, milk automatically pours from her breasts as she embraces Krishna, whose body surpasses the beauty of a monsoon cloud. A festive mood pervades the house as Yashoda leads Krishna to his room. Raktaka, Patraka, and other house servants, with hearts full of affection, serve Krishna by bathing and dressing him. A brilliant necklace glows on Krishna's chest. A yellow silk dhoti as beautiful as stationary lightning enwraps his exquisite form. Sandalwood pulp on his body appears like snow, sprinkled on the land of Vrindavan. Ridiculing the radiance of the sun, the Kaustuba gem, which is the king of all jewels, reigns over the kingdom of Krishna's broad chest. His earrings outshine the brilliance of Venus and Jupiter. The luster of Krishna's face far surpasses the pleasing full moon in autumn. The turban resting on his head looks like an intoxicated swan. Krishna chews on betel nuts scented with camphor to remove the fatigue of the hot summer's day. The pan represents the intoxicating mellow of the gopas, love-filled hearts. Krishna, best of respected persons, steal the minds of the gopas and fills them with the ecstatic sweetness of Sakyabhav. Krishna's jewel-inlaid shoes do not touch the earth as he steps outside to walk to the Goshala. His tightly wrapped yellow dhoti moves slightly in the gentle breeze as he walks along the royal road before the Lion Gate. The light from its inset Chandrakanta jewels illuminates the road that had been decorated with garlands to honor Sri Krishna's return. These jewels perspire drops of cooling nectar, which in turn make the wind moist and refreshing. Everything becomes even more pleasing due to the nectar shower of the rising full moon.
Ilya Kishori, would you like to continue?
The gopis watched Krishna milking the cows. The white hue of the pure-minded cow sitting along the road, which looked as white as powdered camphor, easily surpassed the glow of the full moon to create a satisfying sight for all. The beautiful white bodies of the cows can only be distinguished from the lustrous setting by their thick horns that appear blacker than a swarm of bumblebees. Sitting there peacefully, the cows feel boundless joy, desirous to milk them. The gopas meet with Krishna, who tastefully performs all artistic feats and derives pleasure from all that he does. Birds return from all directions to settle safely in their nest. Tea lamps light up every house as the directions turn grey in the absence of the rays of sunlight. It is a time for the cows' evening milking in the village of Gokula, which resounds with the crying of cows and lies beyond all material illusion. As Krishna nears the Goshala, the lamplights flicker and the cows let loose a chorus of mooing. The combination of flickering lights and the mooing, which sounds like Uludvani, appears like an aretic to welcome Krishna. The news that Krishna was milking the cows entered the ears of the gopis like a lusty elephant trampling the lotus flowers of their minds. Their minds captivated by Madan Mohan, the gopis ignored their relatives and courageously climbed the watchtowers to see their beloved. One gopi enthusiastically clutches another's hand and pulls her up to the stairs. As the doe-eyed gopis gaze in the direction of Krishna and the cows, the sky fills with the blue lotus flowers of their ardent loving glances. They bathe their minds in the river of nectar flowing from the moonlight face of Krishna. Like independent yoginis, the curious eyes of the gopis blissfully roam in all directions as they stand on the rooftops watching Krishna milk the cows. Nothing can prevent their eyes from staring at Krishna. Their eyes try to milk the nectar from the gorgeous face of their beloved. Though Brahma himself cannot describe this pastime of Krishna milking the cows, and a sparrow can never reach the stars, still, this insignificant poet cannot resist the temptation to delight in the transcendental pastimes of Krishna. Therefore, he has tried to glorify them by using the choicest words.
Aman, would you like to continue?
moving his lotus eyes in all directions. Krishna milks the cows with great fun and affection. Krishna's turban looked very attractive as it tilted slightly from rubbing against the belly of the cows. Squatting down and holding in the golden milk pail between his knees, Krishna looks very enchanting in his glimmering yellow dhoti. While milking the cow, his back arches beautifully and his elbows swell out to the right, to the sides as he squeezes and releases the udders with his bud-like fingers. First, Krishna moistens his thumb and forefinger with milk foam, and then he deftly pulls shower of milk from one udder after another. The touch of Krishna's lotus hand feels dearer to the cow than their own calves. Out of affection for the Lord, the cows freely pour forth stream of milk. That forceful pouring of milk makes a pleasant sound as it fills the deep milking pot. It spills out on the ground before a new pot can be brought. As they stand in the watchtower, glancing restlessly at Krishna's, the gopis succumb to both anxiety and ecstasy. Now that Krishna sits down in the minds of the desirous gopis, their mind becomes so heavy that even 1,000 chariots cannot drag them away from their beloved Lord. Though shaking in fear of their superiors, the gopis are totally enchanted by the sweet festival of Krishna's beautiful darshan. The mood of awe and reverence cannot stand before their spontaneous love for Krishna. Even if the gopis seem hypocritical, they are completely infallible and beyond mistakes. Those gorgeous gopis looks like golden creepers fashioned by an expert goldsmith. Feeling compassion for the maidservant standing beside them in the Chandrashalikas, they share the joy rising within their heart by conversing them with them. Hey Sakhi, listen. The creation of my eyes has attained perfection by the soothing sight of Shyama Sundar. I am relishing the palatable elegance of my lord, whose ever youthful dark blue body glow like a fresh rain cloud. My body is tormented with fever due to opposition from the village elders. Still, I want to make my body fit to be controlled by Krishna, who expertly display the highest perfection in the different arts. Just see, even in this condition, my intelligence works nicely. Hey, listen, oh playful creepers! In the absence of the bees, the cluster of lotuses, the cluster of lotuses lose their joy and luster. Therefore, O best of beautiful girls, we must now exhibit the strength of our mantra, chanting by attracting Krishna into our courtyards. Another Sakhi replied, how can we do it? The first Sakhi answered, listen, I will tell you. In our house, even the strongest girl cannot possibly milk the cows. Even for the fearless person, it is very difficult to control the cows because they are very strong and frisky. But due to our reluctance of milk them, we are not deriving any wealth from their milk product. Therefore, the minds of the superior, like our mother in law, are burning with grief like the blazing sun.
Thank you. Tanu Mataji, if you like to continue.
Lord Prabhuji. Second Sakhi said, so what does that matter to you? Just ask your gardens why are not they milking the cows and deriving any milk products themselves? Advise them to simply lovingly call out for Krishna, and when the cows see him, they will automatically surrender their milk. Describe the wonderful milking activities of Krishna that you have just seen. Oh, Sakhi, then I am sure that your superiors will immediately respond to your entreaty. Because the wise and intelligent always respond to a good idea. Krishna alone has the power to break all psychic inhibitions and fill the mind with unprecedented delight. He always affectionately cares for everyone. By his ecstatic pastimes, he provides soothing shelter for a tormented mind. Although Krishna is the supremely independent master of all intelligence, he submits to the authority and protection of his affectionate parents. Due to his love for all of us, I'm convinced that as soon as our superiors inform him of our dilemma, Krishna will respond by rushing here to milk our unruly cows. Thus, the gopis passed their time discussing these delightful topics. Garlanded with wild flowers and surrounded by humming bees, Krishna walks back to his house after milking the cows. Unlimited qualities decorate Krishna at this time. The necklace adorning his broad chest swings back and forth like a shooting star. The ocean of joy within Krishna flows out of his lotus eyes to flood the lakes of the gopis' hearts. Krishna's unlimited attributes appear like sharks to devour the tender hearts, the gopis. With the carefree movement of a royal elephant, Krishna rocks from side to side as he walked down the road. Immersed in loving rapture, the gopis stare with unblinking eyes at his sweet lotus feet as he passed by. Krishna's presence inflames their senses with excitement and satisfaction. But when Krishna leaves their sight, their eyes stop functioning for want of anything worth looking at. Within their minds, however, the gopis find paramount pleasure by lying down with Krishna on the flower bed of surrender. When Krishna takes the cows to the pastures in the daytime, his lovers almost die from the severe pain of separation piercing the core of their hearts. It appears that a virulent poison spread through their bodies. This intolerable burning pain of separation, however, is extinguished by the two nectar showers of seeing Krishna returning in the cool summer evening and relishing his matchless beauty at that refreshing time.
Yes. Close your eyes as we go through the final meditation for today. Yourself in Sri Vrindavan Dham. Now the sun is slowly setting and diminishes his scorching rays. See the bees that are going mad with the fragrance of the lotus flowers. Krishna and his friends sounds their horns, flutes, and calls the cows to walk back to Nandagram. See the cows moving slowly due to their full udders, and see the dust rising in the sky, making an auspicious atmosphere. Fearing the separation from Krishna, the birds of the forest beat their bodies with the hands of their wings. They chirped loudly to express their pain. The doves stare at him, praying for the treasure of another glance from Krishna. See the pure and colorful dust of Raj kicked on Krishna's curly locks. Krishna looked like a bee full with pollen. The gigantic garland on Krishna's chest seemed to smile and spread its attractive pollen in all directions. Though covered by dust, Krishna's famous Kaustuba jewel shines even more brilliantly. The gopis appear to be drinking the sweet nectar of Krishna's form with the cups of their eyes. They seem to touch him with their hands and lick him with their tongues. Krishna transforms into the black kajal around their eyes, the blue lotuses over their ears, the sapphire necklaces on their chest, and the musk ointment smeared on their bodies. See the gopis who are stunned in love, standing like motionless figure drawn on a painting. Remember the sweetness of the exchanges of glances between Krishna and the gopis. Hear the faltering sound of the cows mooing as they enter Nandagram. Mother Yasoda is overwhelmed with loving emotion when she sees Krishna like the sun entering home. After being attended by Ratnaka, Patraka, and other maidservants, Krishna looks extremely beautiful. Brilliant necklace glow on Krishna's chest. A yellow silk dhoti, as beautiful as stationary lightning, enwraps his exquisite form. The sandalwood pulp on his body appears like snow sprinkled on the land of Vrindavan. As Krishna comes now close to the Goshala, the lamps flicker and the cows lose a chorus of mooing. See Krishna milking the cows with his soft lotus-like hands. Out of affection, the cows freely pour forth streams of milk. Look at the gopis on the watchtower. They succumb to both anxiety and ecstasy. Remember your spiritual master, and with a grateful heart, offer him some prayers. Our Krishna dear devotees, thank you for joining us in this beautiful journey today. It's a very, again, like I said at the beginning, it's a very special topic to hear those Astakalya Lila, those pastimes, the eternal Lila that take place every day. And it is very much for us to be able to remember them and think of Krishna, to always think of Krishna, never forget him. This is the goal of Krishna consciousness. My spiritual master often will say the devotees who are eager to think of Krishna, they will always think, oh, what is the time now? What is doing Krishna? What is Krishna doing at the moment? And in this way, they remember the pastimes of the Lord. So thank you for joining. I don't know if any one of you have some reflections or something they would like to share from today's reading. Yes, Tanu Mataji.
Prabhuji, when we read that how Krishna was milking the cows, so I was remembering that photo where Krishna is holding footwear on his head and Nand Maharaj is touching him. So I was remembering that photo. The description was about cows were after feeling touch of Krishna, they were feeling very blissful and ecstatic. So same way when Nand Maharaj was touching Krishna, so I was remembering that photo of Krishna where he was holding the footwear.
Okay.
And also that part where gopis, they were so much enthusiastic to see Krishna milking the cows. They ran up on the top of the towers, on their rooftop, and they were seeing Krishna. And Krishna's darshana was a festival for them. So I really liked this point.
Thank you. Thank you. Nikunja Biharini, do you have something that stays with you?
Yes, these particles of dust like pollen, like they are alive. They are alive in Vrindavan, and when they are covering Kaustubha gem is also source of all jivas. It's becoming like even more bright.
Thank you. I like also very much the analogy of Krishna being like a bee covered with the dust, like a bee covered with pollen. Divya Kishori, do you have anything that stays with you today?
Yes, Roji, I was just thinking about the gopis that how eager are they to see Krishna and how much they are thinking about Krishna, and without them, without Krishna, they feel so much pain when Krishna goes out to the to the forest in the morning. So I was just thinking how why it is told that the worship of the gopis is the highest by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So it is clearly reflected that they cannot stop thinking about Krishna. They cannot stop loving Krishna. So such a high mood, such a high thing which is established. So I feel like some particles of this should stay with me, that this is how one's worship should be. Like you shared from Maharaj, that Maharaj tells that one who loves Krishna, like something like that you said, that one who loves Krishna can immediately think about Krishna. What is Krishna doing? I was just thinking that these are the gopis, this is their love. So just wanted to stay with them. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. This actually reminds us of where we want to go, which state of consciousness we want to reach one day. And that can actually energize our chanting, our spiritual practice, our sincerity in devotional service when we connect deeply to this higher goal and those beautiful feelings. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Jennifer.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for today's reading. Yeah, very, very beautiful. I was just thinking, it's you were mentioning before, actually, this is Krishna's eternal pastime, so it's yeah, actually the goal to meditate it throughout the day. And I was thinking, I feel so far away from that to spontaneously think throughout the day, okay, what is Krishna doing now? I'm so much in my own pastimes, so-called, that but actually, yeah, Krishna's world is so beautiful and actually very simple as well, but there's so much beauty in there. And yeah, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Ajanti?
Yeah, I think picking up from Jennifer, I think there was also a sentence that will say that whatever Krishna, whatever is his feats are all artistically. So it's really like you can see whenever everything. I mean, it's like a beautiful painting, no, with words. And I was also so surprised. I mean, I like the bees. They are so much present in this. And also, I think at some point, because they are so intoxicated by the smell of Krishna and Krishna's garland, the wind tried to blow them away, but they want to stay with Krishna. Many times it was sweet, I thought, and I remembered actually there is a song of Narottam Das Thakur that he prays actually that he wants to become bee in the spiritual world. And yes, that was a thought. But I also could notice how Kavikarnapur, how the feelings are described of the gopis, but also when the Vrijabhasi, they came back, they were super happy, the cows, how they were feeling, also the gopas. At some point was described, I was thinking, wow, how Kavikarnapur, he himself, because to write this, how he lives also in this, he can perceive these emotions, otherwise he would not be able himself to write them down. Yeah, I was literally thinking of that, how this Vrindavan, it's the world of bhava, of emotion, everything, even the dust, the bees, the birds, the deer that they're just staring, and they say, oh, and I think Krishna will look one more time. So like everything is full of emotion, everything. So that was also thinking, practically I thought also when we read these pastimes, even when we read the Bhagavatam or whatever, we are doing also to try to open our heart to be moved also by Krishna consciousness, not just doing automatically or like this. So that I thought could be also a good prayer. Let my heart be moved by even by our chanting, by our reading, in exchanges with the devotees, not to learn that again. It seems our heart now is beating automatically, but it could be so nice that our heart learn to beat in the emotions of love for Krishna. I thought it's a new training. Our heart needs to beat in a different way, not more. Yeah, so that was some thoughts.
Thank you. Thank you. I had also few beautiful pictures that came. And this meditation, when there was the servant of Krishna described like an intoxicated swan, somehow it it got stuck. And I notice when we do meditation, or when we don't go too quick through a text and try to see what we hear, it just like becomes alive in our consciousness. And this world is just so attractive and beautiful. Yesterday we were just putting some fuel in our car, and Vejanti could hear discussion of people around. And after she said, it was in Italian, I could not hear, but she said, oh, people are speaking such a low class, in such a low class way. And we were just reflecting on how poetic the Vaishnavas are, and how delicate and how subtle and loving. And so it was making really like a very, very big contrast to what is actually happening in the world. And we see how the pleasure that the soul can experience in service to the Lord, in remembering the Lord, is going into such a high and higher levels that are just not at all comparable in what we have in this world. So I feel actually extremely grateful that we, by the help of our Guru Janas, spiritual master, Acharya, that we have like a open door into the spiritual world, that we can actually go at any time. We can go for free at any time. It just demands some initial desire to say, okay, now I will stop what I'm doing and I will read a little bit and think of Krishna. And I think those reading sessions brings a lot of impetus for us to take the decision. Yes, I want to be a little bit in this world, and ultimately to live in this world together with the Lord and His devotees. Thank you very much for joining. Wish you a wonderful week, and may some pictures stay with you, especially this afternoon when the time will come for Krishna to go back home from the pasturing ground. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, the revealer of the Dham and the one who brought us this treasure of Krishna consciousness. And see you next week. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for bringing us these choicest words. Otherwise, I feel that reading 10th canto or reading the pastimes of Krishna, always we have to approach with so much, with cautious and care. But you only bring us the best. Like we have to read and we are in association, we are saved. No mind goes here and there. So thank you so much for this.
Jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.